Am I the asshole for paying my son back for all the chores done in mom's place? For context, I, 37 years old man, have 3 kids, 13 years old boy, 9 years old girl, 5 years old girl, 2 with my wife, 38 years old woman, but my son is a stepkid to her. In our house we have a very specific chore schedule that works in a way so that all of us can do chores and still have plenty of free time, family time on top of homework and sports. It took a look time to come up with this system, and the allowance system, as my wife has always been iffy about our kids doing too little to help, and about us giving them allowance in the first place. We ended up working this out when the oldest were toddlers, and it's been the system for several years. Yesterday, I came home early and was getting ready to start with dinner, when I noticed my daughter's and wife's nails were done in full with nice colors and even some nail extensions. The only time it could have been done was during chore time. Unless she'd gotten the kids home from school early, this is impossible. Our kids' school gives the other parent a call when they're picked up early, or she'd skipped out on chores. With how strict my wife is about the whole thing, I heavily doubt she'd skip out on chores that only take 30 minutes for nails. My daughter had started talking about how much fun they'd had. When I asked her how they found the time for it, she slipped up admitting that her brother was doing their chores. When I asked how long, she went on to say since September. I then went to go ask my wife, who got deflective saying our daughter had lied and that they just rushed through chores that day. Told her I'd go ask my son about it, and that if it went about our daughter was truly lying, then we'd scold her for the lie. Checked it out with our son, and our daughter was right. He said he thought I was in on the change, and while he was talking he brought up that mom said he wouldn't be paid, since it was help and not work. I went right to my bag downstairs, got my wallet and pulled out the entirety of September's money and gave it to him. I told him I'd go to the bank and get him October's money too for the full month, not just what he'd worked for having to deal with this. My wife flipped out. She started an argument directly in front of the kids, and as much as I tried to calm her down and get her to talk privately, she wouldn't budge. All shouting ended up waking our toddler who had been napping throughout this, and that's what finally stopped the screaming match. She's been calling me Ta for simply paying our son without even talking to her, and that his chores were much too easy so he had to do extra work to make up for his slacking. Note: he does the downstairs bathroom and the toddler's room. Neither of which are easy, and that slackers shouldn't be paid. To prevent more fights I compromised, by letting the problem go and my son keep his money until we could figure the whole thing out. We're keeping the peace for Halloween, but haven't talked about it at all.